Are you ready?
My coach, Barbara H. Smith. Why did I hire her? Because she's the best.
Barbara H. Smith is a powerhouse. She just walks in the room and grabs your attention, and she does that in a way that just makes you feel loved and like she's paying attention to you. She cares about you, and she wants to see you be your best self.
She was able to dig inside and find the passion that was deep within me.
Barbara's energy is one of the reasons that I had to have her as my coach. I love the way she is real with people.
The reason I felt like I needed a coach was because I have some big goals and I needed to build my confidence. I knew that Barbara could help me do that.
I felt that I could trust her.
I would definitely recommend to get coaching from Barbara H. Smith if you feel like you need to level up your confidence. She would just help you feel like bold, like you can take on the world.
She has really shown me who I am. She has changed my mindset to a place that I know that I am more powerful today than I would have ever been if I had never met Barbara Smith.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. I am so excited tonight. We have a phenomenal lineup for you. But before we even bring up our lineup, I want to bring you up the sensational Shawnee Smith, my sister from another mister.
Hello. I'm so excited for today. So excited.
Me too.
On the floor, rolling around, dying laughing. And who doesn't need a good laugh?
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, this first guest, we're going to get right into it because we want to have all the time we can have with both of our guests. But this first guest is the CEO of two, count them, businesses, More Laughing LLC, which provides comedic, motivational, and inspirational speaking, stand-up comedy, corporate workshops that empower the workforce in communication, social disparities, and other on-the-job issues. Also, the CEO of Black Please, a coffee business, wrote and produced More Laughing in the Morning, aired on Sky 4, and Funny Money Family, a financial literacy comedy sketch and web series. Also, Coffee Breaks, a series of talks that she and her partner, Jim Franklin, use to support their corporate clients, mlcoffeebreak.com. Allison is a native of Virginia, and she proudly promotes education. Her education includes HBCU, Norfolk State University, and a master's degree at the George Washington University. 10 years of corporate experience she has in employee relations and human resources. She also uses her ability to bring laughs to any situation. She's a clean comedian, though, who opened up for legendary comedians Sinbad and Martin Lawrence. Allison's stand-up routine is fresh and witty and laugh out loud funny. Her greatest accomplishments, though, are her 3 children. That's what motivates her to ensure that she has financial freedom for her family. And it also helps in assisting with the economic growth of her community and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome my sister friend, Allison Moore.
I can't wait.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Barbara, Shawnee, thank you so much for having me. Barbara, you better read my bio. I was like, oh, that's me. Oh, wow. Hey, Barbara.
That is my girl. That's what I do. I bring my guests to the stage.
That's
like
what you do.
Nobody else, baby. So, Shawnee, I'm going to let you start. Hey, Lee Newton Rhodes, thank you for being out there. Somebody is full of energy. I'm loving it. Let me tell you, after you see our guest, you're going to be full of energy. Trust and believe that. Shawnee, I'm going to let you have the first questions.
I don't even know where to start. First of all, she done had me dying laughing for backstage for I don't know how long. I don't even know where to start. And I so needed this laugh today. Let me ask you though, when did you realize that you were funny to other people? I know you had to have been laughing your whole time, coming up. But when did you realize the gift that you had to get other people laughing?
Wow. I was 31 years
Really?
old. Yeah. So I have always had this personality. But I didn't know that people weren't laughing when I wasn't there. Does that make sense? Like I was always laughing, but I just thought we always laughed, and I didn't realize that I was bringing the laughter in many situations, or I didn't realize that the situation that I transformed environments. And that happened when I was 30, 31. My friend and I, we started a nonprofit. This is almost 10 years ago. We would say, when we become millionaires, we're going to take care of the homeless people in Hampton Roads. We're going to take care of all of the widows and the poor kids, like the Bible said. And we just felt like the Lord was like, why don't you show me what you're going to do with that $100 I gave you? Who told you I'll give you $1 million? You still ain't balanced your checkbook. Like, oh, excuse me, God. So we did an event. And we were in Hampton, Virginia. So that's where I'm from, born and raised. So, it was easy for us to get. We probably had about 100 people there. We had a comedian. I was the host of the event. And that night, the comedian that we had, he comes up, he's a headliner, he's at the end. He's like, I don't know why y'all got me. Allison is a comedian. She's been having us laughing the whole night. And so I'm saying in this room full of people that, we know, because this is my friend Tiara and myself's first event. And they were most family and friends. And so I say in the back, and at this point, I was a human resources manager. And I'm going up my little ladder and what I think is my road to success from college to HR. So I'm in the back of the room like, but can you get paid doing this? Everybody in the room was like, yeah. It did not connect. And I really believe that that was my gift from the Lord that day, because we gave him something. We did that fundraiser. We took all the costs. We gave back money to a homeless XC, so they already support the homeless in the community. Also, we gave back to Newport News, a foster care unit. And so it was kind of one of those things where it was like, before you get the millions, why don't you serve somebody who's already out here doing something? Before y'all did, like, why we can't serve someone who's already doing something? So I really believe that that was my gift, the awakening. So people were like, girl, we've been asking you. And then just came back. Like a friend of mine, she had me MC her wedding reception. I just thought she ain't had no money to pay nobody, which she still owed me. By the way, y'all run that. Y'all just celebrated 10 years. I kicked you off. But, it was like, oh, shoot, people been laughing the whole. I thought y'all was laughing at me. Y'all was laughing with me. They like both. But I'm like, okay, but still, this is good. So that's my real journey.
That is so good. So here's what I want to do. Okay. I want you to pretend that we are your audience. You have just showed. I'm gonna give you an introduction.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and do the Allison Moore show on the Barbara H. Smith Empowering You show, right? So coming to the stage now is a native Hamptonian. She is more laughing extraordinaire. She is top of the game. She should not have been introducing Sinbad or Martin. She is a headliner. Help me bring to the platform right now, Allison Moore.
Is that when the crowd goes wild?
Yeah, in my mind. Oh, yeah, thank you. Because in my mind, if it ain't no audience that want to see me, this is going to go down quickly. What's up, everybody? Hey, y'all. I am comedian Allison Moore. 2 up, 2 down. I am from Virginia. They know me as Virginia's comedian. If you don't know me as Virginia comedian, that's your business. You just shut your mouth and act like I'm popular, okay? I am your conference's coffee. I like to wake people up. And if you like coffee and you like me, I think you might like your coffee black. I'm just saying. I am like everybody's hype girl. I love to hype you up. So if you're in a bad mood, I got you. Because we are here. We're alive. We're breathing. If you can hear me right now, you got air, you got oxygen, you got a second chance. So come on, let's go ahead and, get that spirit, that enthusiasm up, that energy up. I got your back. Shout out to Barbara, who just go ahead. She just announced to me, right? And she said, let's make sure that y'all hear this. She said that I should not have introduced Sinbad and Martin. And I'm just saying, Sinbad or Martin, if you're listening, this is not me trying to be like I'm conceited or full of myself. I'm really humble. And if y'all want me to come back and introduce you again, I can. But I'm just saying, I am also a headliner, like what Barbara said. So, hey, y'all, we just do not at all diminish the small beginnings. Okay. Okay. So what tell me, hold on, wait, pause, y'all. We got to go commercial break. So, Barbara, what's on my show? You ain't tell me what my show was about. You just said that I
Your
was the
your show is about helping those in the HR community
Oh yes.
understand that everything is not serious and deadly, but there is comedy in the workplace.
Yes. Okay. So now, Barbara made me go ahead and touch on something that's really passionate to me. So honestly, Barbara, really, that's a whole thing. Like what I've learned, because as you all know, and our audience, so from the journey from comedy, then I started to do comedy full time. I left
Right.
human resources, started to do comedy, entertainment, edutainment, like what we
Mhm.
said in the announcements, or excuse me, in my bio, my introduction. And then I'm back in corporate. I
Right.
am the director of communications and partnership for a bank in South Carolina, a Black-owned bank. Shout out to Optus Bank. I see y'all, love y'all. And what I have found, even in this role and in this space, or when organizations will bring me in to do speaking to, like, employee engagement events, or then we push in the diversity and uncomfortable conversations, a lot of times people get really nervous by the idea of comedy, right? Or people will say things like, well, we have to be serious. So maybe having a comedian might water down the message. Where I'm like, that's really interesting. I guess I can see that if you've ever been in a situation where people only use their comedy maybe to be mean
Yeah.
or to be inappropriate and blame it
Right.
on comedy in the name of comedy, or we're just joking. But there's so much comedy can do, right? Like, to me, comedians in themselves are oftentimes very smart and use comedy as a vehicle. It's kind of like the crush up the medicine and put in the applesauce
Yeah.
concept, right? Use comedy as a vehicle to bring down some people's biases, unite them like music would,
Mhm.
and serve some reality through this introspective lens. Like, ha, okay, that happened to you, that happened to me. Wow, I didn't think of it like that. And maybe I can make change or transformation. So going back to what you said, Barbara, and what our theoretical or our hypothetical show is,
Mhm.
that's something that really I feel like the workplaces could use. If you allowed your employees to smile, they probably would feel a lot more comfortable. And if you're not comfortable at work, you're not giving 100%.
100%.
And
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I try
good.
to encourage. Before, when I was still doing the consulting with some of my corporate clients, when I was in those spaces where it's more than entertainment, I was able to build relationships with their leaders and just try to encourage them how to
Mhm.
improve the employee engagement and the morale.
Mhm.
I'm explaining to them, if people are not even enjoying this place,
They're not
then
happy.
listen here. You are not getting your money's worth.
No.
If I'm feeling like this, I don't talk like our normal, and we as Black women, we understand as professionals the code switching. That's a whole real
Code
thing.
switch, baby. Talk about that.
And so code switching is this concept where I'm completely becoming somebody else to fit into your box. And I think that people need to acknowledge the fact that people code switch is like a second language.
For us.
It's for us, absolutely.
We're
It
bilingual
speaks
like a mug,
to
right?
our ability to we are able to transform from spaces,
We have
and
to.
we have to. And it's really a skill set that is not acknowledged, is not appreciated. But the reverse of that is, where I try to explain, and hopefully the leaders listening today, their eyes are opened. If I am not giving you my authentic self, you're not getting 100% of
But
my
they don't know
superpower.
it's not our authentic self. That's the thing. They don't know.
And sometimes, and they don't know because they don't care, but sometimes people do know, but they don't know how to address it. They don't recognize how damaging it is on both ends. They don't understand how powerful it would be if you just invested into making your people feel more comfortable.
Yes.
Some people do know that, but they just are like, well, that's what we all do when we come here and we're just more professional, right? Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. This
No.
is,
Right.
Professional
I'm
has nothing to do with code switching. Nothing.
absolutely.
Because you can be your
Absolutely.
authentic self and be professional.
Your authentic self is most of the time most professional, because in professional you have things like honesty, integrity. Those things are important. So when you have someone who's authentic, you can already say, in most cases, you got integrity. Like, you're not even going to come and play games with me.
That's right.
Because when you playing games, then you have the manipulation, and then you have those toxic employees and things like that. But the safer that people feel like my leadership sees me for who I am not embarrassed, or I don't have
they
to put this in the
appreciate it.
car.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Absolutely. I don't have to leave stuff at home. I can show up myself. So now I can walk in my confidence, because when I don't give you my own everything, if I don't feel safe, I'm questioning myself. I'm losing my confidence. I'm not giving the ideas that are really in my head, because I'm not really sure if you can feel my creativity, or if you see what we can do with this eclectic thing I got going on, or whatever. It's just like a lot of missed opportunities when people are not their safest, most comfortable self at work. And I'm an advocate of that. I mean, because regardless of what, like, some people may feel like that safe space, then people bring some weird stuff that you don't want, right? Because some of these coworkers and employees, and so that's a thing too. But the truth is, they were bringing the weirdness anyway. You were gonna get it anyway. So lacking, people not having the work environment that's conducive to them really being their most authentic, weird, creative, smart, maybe confused selves to work. I don't even know what I was gonna say with the end of that sentence, but I felt like it was gonna be good. But y'all got the point, right? Did you get the point? Put it in the comments. It was gonna be good. It was gonna be good. She was gonna drive it home.
Stop. Now, Allison, as an HR professional, is it appropriate to add this to your skill set? Code switching, successful code switching. Is that a good talent to add?
I think no. Well, it depends on where you're going. I think it's about where you're going, right? Like, I think that there is a way to communicate that, and the right people on the other end can read that. So if I got a resume in my area, I'm director of communications. I got communications and partnerships under one side. We're a small bank, so right now some of us have multiple hats, right? Under communications, as I build my marketing, my communications team, if I get a resume that says I am, something, these are not the best words, right? But just follow me for the case of trying to explain the point. The resume is telling me that, hey, I've worked in these different environments and I've had no problem. Transforming is not the best word, but if they're giving me this something for me to know, oh shoot, so what you're saying is when you worked here, you know how to be Shaniqua, Becky, and Bob. Then that for me, I'm gonna say, I feel like that's a transferable skill that can be communicated. I have the ability to relate to multiple different types of people. Right. So forget the other part that I said, but that would be, a way to say that. And then in the interview, you can talk about it, hey, this role or this opportunity really feels like it requires me to be able to quickly go from, okay, hey, I can relate to this customer or this shareholder or the audience or the community. And I've done that before because I worked in an environment that was totally different than what I was. And I learned how to put some of my stuff to the side, come here and be this person, show up for this environment. Then in the afternoons, I interacted with my kids at the PTA. They were a totally different community, but I related to them. And so I'm going to hear, oh, she a code switcher. Bring her to me. Bring her to me. And so that would be a way to do it that doesn't come across, because unfortunately we have to also, in this space where we're becoming allowed, we as marginalized people, wherever you fit in that marginalized space, you put yourself in the box, but you understand that communities now are being heard at least a little bit more. I think every community can say, well, at least they hear me a little more, right? Whether that be the LGBTQ plus community, the Black community, the Asian Pacific community, any different women, we are in 2022. We're hearing each other a little bit more. And so
it's good to hear you say that, Allison, because
tell me why.
Because, well, first, before we go there, let me shout out a few people.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you so very much. Cheryl Ann Crump is from Spring Valley, New York. Lee Newton Rhodes is out there and commenting on our show. Thank you so much for being out there. My girl, my coach, Women Who Wow, Michelle Woolard Pippin is out there. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being out there. I love you. We are on live with Allison Moore of More Laughing, and she's an HR person, which I think is very interesting. Right. I want you to, you asked me a question. I don't remember what it was. It's okay. I
don't remember that. I don't remember that in 15 minutes.
We're on barbaysmith.com is my website if you wanted to know that. I don't know why. Allison Moore's information is at the bottom. But what I want to know is, as an HR professional, you are talking to an audience. The audience out there, I want you to tell them they want to get a new job, for example. Some people are looking for work. There's all kinds of work out there now, but some people are looking for work. Give me one thing you think they must have in order to clinch a job when they come to they already got the resume done. The resume has been accepted. Now they're coming in for the interview, and they come in and sit before Allison Moore. What is one thing that you could tell them that would help them clinch the job?
Creativity is important,
Mhm.
and that's a skill set that is not hardly ever encouraged or spoken about. But if you can put different things together and people see that, they keep you around, right? So in today's time, flexibility is important because of just us coming out of COVID, us still in COVID. The workforce is really trying to go back to the old working way. I mean, there's just so many different moving parts and dynamics right now for professionals and in the workspace, and being able to be creative in how you saw the job and communicating, hey, I see that this is what the job is, but this is what I did. Like for me, for example, I am now the director of communications and partnerships. Like I said, prior to this, I worked 6 years as an entrepreneur. Prior to that, I worked 10 years in human resources. There may be people who say right now, well, how did you get into communications and partnerships? And you've been doing stand-up comedy. I creatively convinced them to see how, first of all, for me to do stand-up comedy, I had to be a good communicator, because I always, not always, I'd have had some bad
Absolutely.
events, but I most of the time land. I'm able to communicate. My audience listens to me. I have mastered. So for the last 6 years, you may say I've been doing stand-up, but I have been crafting the art of communicating to any audience. I can come into a room in 10 seconds. I can understand. I'm reading that investor and I'm gonna shake his pockets, right? I was creative in bringing that together, and now I'm sure that my CEO and different leaders will be looking for people who are comedians. I think that creativity and communicate, not being afraid because you didn't have the experience. Because right now the truth is the job market is hot, and it's like the housing market is for the seller. The job market right now is for the employee, because employers are scared to death. They're like, we can't hire anybody. And it's like, that's not true. People just know, oh, you mean to tell me for the last 2 years I could be in my own house and I ain't got to deal with your microaggressions? I don't want to come here if you can't even say that you got a diversity program that you are really investing in. But when you're not afraid to be creative, hey, I recognize that I haven't done this before, but I have done this. And we talked about that, Shawnee, with these transferable skills. I have not done, X, Y, and Z before technically, but I'm a multitasker because I got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like
Those skills translate.
Right.
Translate.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's for people looking for new jobs. I do not think that you should be afraid to push yourself into a whole new industry. I am in banking. Really, I have not had banking experience really before, and I'm excelling because I came into it saying, y'all not about to use that against me. I came in to tell you, I just got here. I know y'all been here 30 years, but you need some fresh perspectives. Turns out that y'all doing stuff a little bit stale. And I bring some laughter. I bring positive energy. I'm using the qualities about me, and I'm telling you that they're assets for your environment. And so that's what I encourage some of my mentees. I work with young adults trying to get into workforce, college students, and then a couple of some of my previous audiences. Shout out to my More Laughing OG fans. They are like, girl, how do we switch careers? We tell these people we've been doing this the whole time, because the career is making your business money.
Yeah.
And I'm able to make you money and advance the mission with my unique skill sets. It's not really that unique if you look here. So you better shut me up, because I've been repeated the same thing 5 times.
I got a condition. Rose wants to know, is creativity teachable, or you just have it or you don't?
I think that it is teachable, but I think, if you have it, you got a better start, right? But I think some things require just a little bit of exposure. Like I truly believe that someone listening and like, man, how did she? Okay, so she took her comedy and used the blah blah to get her there. Oh, I got such and such. Oh, and I need to start telling them blah blah. So I do believe that there's some people that they just wake up and they see things in a way that we just will never see it. And then there are other of us who, once we saw someone else see something and they told us what they saw, we can take some of that and put our own spin on it and move forward. What I would say to someone who is like, well, I'm not that creative, or I'm not a visionary, or I don't have the same skill sets as this type of people group that I'm trying to be in, I would say to them, then put your butt in a space where you're around them and absorb it. Trust me, it's like you're like a sponge. You force yourself. I'm not a banker. I was not a banker. And by the end of 2022, your girl's gonna be a bad banker. But what have I
You
done?
are a
As soon
banker.
as I
You're in
started
the bank
working
now.
with this, or
You are a banker. You're in the bank now.
yes, but it's some technical stuff that goes along with that, with really being a banker. So just give me a few more months, right? I got to learn some stuff because I'm going to say something now that all bankers would slap me. Like, first of all, this is why is she here? Why is she here? That's what we saying. She was a comedian. So I'm like, wait a minute, give me a minute. By the end of the year, though, by the end of the year. But, I forced myself to, I'm reading books. Nobody had to tell me. When I went to my CEO's office during the interview or when I was working with them as a consultant and I saw books that he had, I'm like, which of these do you recommend that I read? I read the book. That was impressive to him. And then I told him I read it, shared some things about it. I was like, what's next? Right. So I already showed him that I was eager to learn. That would be something that I would encourage people to do. You just tell people that you're eager to learn. And I would share with people, get you a podcast. At today's age is absolutely no reason for you to not have information. Get a podcast. Go, just Google. Whatever that space is. You want to be a nurse? Go listen to a nurse podcast. Go listen to a baker's podcast. Go listen to the IT podcast. They're out there. Some of them are trash, but a lot of them
not trash
are starting at the bottom. And so that's helpful for you because they'll talk to a language that we can get. Some things, we don't need to wait till they got the millions of followers because we wouldn't know what they're talking about anyway. It's a different language, especially if you're going into an industry that's brand new to you. So that would be what I would encourage people. Immerse yourself in that space and stop talking to those people that are not doing what you want to do. I had to cut some people off.
Say that again.
Stop talking to those people that's not doing what you want to do.
Why are you going to ask somebody who's sitting on the couch how to be a millionaire?
Why you wait to get their permission? Yeah. Why are you talking to somebody who does not have a relationship anywhere close to what you want your relationship to look like and you get relationship advice from them?
Yeah.
And why are you talking to people who have not stepped outside of their own? I had to relocate. I had to get out of my own comfort zone. I had to move so that I could really be true to this. I kept saying I wanted something different. I'm too cute to be broke. I know that I go on the stage and I can stand an ovation, but I can't pay my mortgage when I get to the crib. Something is not adding up. People are there. They love me, but so I am not maximizing or optimizing all of the gifts that are inside of me. One of y'all that's been around me that I'm talking to on the phone all day is draining me. If I get 2 hours of my time back from TT, from Melissa, then go ahead and give it over here to Dr. Shaniqua, to Leslie. Then now I'm automatically elevating myself. I'm automatically going to be more on my toes. I'm interested in what she's doing, where she get that from. How'd you get that? Where'd you go? What you mean a social club? What's that? And now I am in a community, in a space, and have information, access, and exposure to something that I wouldn't have had because I'm talking to the same girls I've been talking to since I was in the seventh grade.
She didn't mean that, Shaniqua. Don't worry. She coming back.
No, Dr. Shaniqua, shout out to Dr. Shaniqua. But TT and them, I didn't mean that because, TT's and them is my real friends that I did not cut them off because they're good friends. But,
But they know what you meant.
They know what I meant. They ain't listening anyway. They like, girl, we hear you talk all day. So they glad, Barbara, that you called me because they were my babysitters in real life. So they like, you got a show, girl. Go to your show. Hell, get her away. She need an outlet.
We know exactly what you mean when you say you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get out of your environment. Some people have not left the block.
Yeah.
And they wonder why they stuck because they're listening to the same thing, the same people, the same environment, the same. You have to change your perspective. You have to.
Yeah, I was saying, my company, More Laughing, and my coffee company, Black Peace, we're going to be a national company. We're going to be an international company. Like, girl, you are from Hampton, Virginia. All your best friends are y'all went to the same high school and middle school together. That's everybody you talk to all day, every day. Y'all went to Norfolk State University. Shout out to Norfolk State University, but we didn't get out. I went to George Washington University in Newport News, which is 12 minutes away from my old house. Like, I didn't get out. So I only have one dimension, one level, one layer of perspective. How do you lead someone in the West Coast and in different parts of the country? Or how are you even in these spaces and being effective? And so really, I started to see that when I traveled and would do comedy, I would go to, go spend a lot of time on the West Coast, getting on stage, performing there. And it's just different. Like,
It is different.
they would have to listen differently to me because they're like, she got an accent. And I'm like, do I? And my jokes would be different. And so that helped my skill set. But it taught me that different people are from different places and they think differently. Virginia is a very small space in comparison to everywhere else. And if you are only getting all of your recreation time, your emotional stuff, your mental stuff, everything from the same source, you are not nearly as effective as you want to be, Allison. You're not growing as fast as you could be.
Say that growing part. Say that growing part. Say that growing part.
You're not growing as fast as you could be. I mean, it's you're not, girl. You're not, fam. Bro, that's listening. We're not, and we're being dishonest with ourselves. And for me, so I have 3 children. I have a senior in high school. I have a junior. I have a second grader. Because I made this transition, moved out of state, shook up their life, and etc. They're going to be prepared to make moves. They're not going to be afraid to look for a job in a different state. They're not going to be afraid to, pursue a relationship somewhere else or travel or whatever. Whereas if I would have stayed, the longer that I would have stayed in the same place with the same people, not doing anything differently, I would have given my generations permission to just seek comfort in our little town.
Come on now.
And I'm coming back to Virginia. I'll be buying apartment complexes there. I have great big visions for my impact in my hometown.
Yes.
But I cannot be as valuable to my community in the community and not finding better ways to learn. Now, there are other people who could be in the community and they can learn, they can grow, they can etc. But that wasn't my space. I was not moving around. I wasn't out. I wasn't extending myself. So I truly believe, and I'm passionate about shake up your circle. Hold yourself accountable to, like, first of all, who are you listening to? What are your mentors telling you? Check them, hold them accountable, because sometimes we are trapped in these relationships and these soul ties. They hold us back. And the reality is we outgrew our mentors 5 years ago.
Listen, you ain't even I need to stop you right there. We at the top of the hour already. Oh my God, we should have had you for the whole hour. But we have to go to a commercial break. I want to show you a sizzle reel that we did in Africa. I want you to stay backstage with us, Allison. Allison, give us your comments about where we can reach you, and then we're going to commercial break.
Oh, okay, so you can reach me. So I'm on social media, but y'all, I just relocated, right? So I've been a little inactive for like a month and a half. But if you start dropping comments, I'm coming back. I'm gonna be alive. So comedian Allison Moore on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you're a professional, I would love to connect with you. Very soon, I share with Barbara, I'll be re-announcing my podcast, More Laughing at Work, where it is a lunchtime break situation where we can get into it. We can laugh a little bit. We can hold each other accountable and elevate so we can be these best high-paid professionals. But I would love to connect with you. mlcoffeebreak.com. I forgot to give y'all that one. But mlcoffeebreak.com for you leaders who do want to include some diversity, equity, and inclusion conversations in your workplace. Call me.
Listen,
thank you so much for having me, ladies.
We love you, Allison Moore. Thank you so much for being here. Don't you go away. We got another surprise guest for you. Amazing, amazing conversation coming up after the break. Don't you go nowhere. I am a child of the Most High God. He has gifted me in ways that I could not even imagine and didn't know. There was a time when I didn't know who I was. I listened to other people tell me who I should be, what I should do. I listened to people telling me that I should be a boutique owner, that I should be a construction manager, that I should be a laborer. Have you ever felt like you should do something else, be something else, go somewhere else, be wherever you wanted to be, and you felt like you were in a box? Anybody in the room? And you couldn't get out. Anybody in the room? And you kept trying to go and you couldn't get out. Anybody in the room? But let me tell you, you need to rock the box. Rock the box. I am engaging, inspiring, and empowering. I know. Just by touching you, if I could, by osmosis, give you every single thing I've learned, I've gone through, I know I would. We know that's not possible, but as it is possible, I love to share information with people.
Some of you out there, people have told you that you can't be, you can't have, you can't do. But I will tell you, like Kingston said, you can, you must, and you will. If it's to be, it's gonna be me. You gotta say it. If it's to be, it's gonna be. If it's to be, it's gonna be. If it's to be, it's gonna be.
Barbara is because she believed what her mama said about her and not what other people told her.
Every day you wake up, when you're in a situation, it's your choice whether it's an advantage or the disadvantage.
She gained her confidence and her life, and now she is a testimony.
If I can help you elevate yourself, then I feel like I'm elevating my own self as well. What you know and I know together can change the world. Some of the most fun I've ever had was in another country. Allison Moore, thank you so much for being with us. And now, if you could be or do more in your career, but your own resources are not getting you as far as you hoped, then let me introduce you to Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. With decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporations, she is an executive, a coach, a trainer, a speaker, a woman after my own heart, all that. She can help you tap into your centers of influence that can move you toward your and forward in your career with purpose, passion, and her unique brand of success, using her proprietary 8 Habits of Highly Successful Women system. Her business is a Maryland DOT, Department of Transportation, certified MBE, DBE, and SBE. So for those of you who don't know what that is, Minority Business Enterprise, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, and I forget the SBE. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, help me. Welcome to the show, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis.
Well, hello, ladies. Hello. It's here. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. I'm excited, but y'all put me after a tough act, though.
No.
We were rolling, okay?
Want to say first shout out to Karen Walker. I know her as Karen Walker, one of my childhood friends. Vernay Taylor's out there. Thank you so much. You're right. You can't put Barbara A. Smith in the box. But right now, we want to talk to you, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, about your life experience with this organization. Is it Executive Women?
Executive Women Success Institute. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Talk to us some about that.
Wow. Well, you know what? I started the Executive Women's Success Institute for women to have a safe place to be able to come and just share their successes, share their failures, their weaknesses, and but most importantly, to be able to get them to tap into their full potential.
Yeah.
And I started it because I had women coming to me when I was in the military and when I was in civilian federal government. I had women coming to me and they wanted to know, how was I getting up the ladder the way I was? How was I moving so fast? And so they wanted me to read their bios. They wanted me to read their resumes. They wanted me to do mock interviews with them. And it's like people say, you never know who's watching you, because I
That's
had
right.
no idea, people were watching me, women were watching me. And so because I had so many women coming to me, I thought, I need to do this on a larger scale to be able to help more women. And so That's why I started the my company, the Executive Women's Success Institute. It's actually the Lean Institute for Professional Development, doing business as the Executive Women's Success Institute, and it's just, there's nothing, and I say this all the time, there's just nothing more fulfilling than being able to help another woman reach her full potential. Because women, we are one of the greatest resources on this planet.
Force to be reckoned with.
There you go. There you go. And a lot of times we don't speak up, we don't get noticed, and we have to do that. We have to speak up and be noticed, be visible in order to get where we're trying to get, because you can't get there sitting in the back of the room. You can't get there sitting on the side. You have to be up front so you can let people know what you know that you know that you know.
But
That
see,
part.
but see, when we do that, many times we're called bossy. Guess what? I'm a boss. BAWSC. I'm a boss. That's right. That's what I am. But many people don't, many women, especially Dr. Madeline, don't have that confidence. How do we get them to get that?
Well, as I talk to women, there are three things I tell them that you absolutely have to move forward anywhere you are, in business or in your career. You have to have confidence, you have to be assertive, and you have to build a support network, which is something a lot of women don't do. Yeah. A lot of women don't do that. We don't help each other. We don't want to pull each other up. But to build that confidence, that is important. Because like I say, when it's sort of like they say, when you walk in the room, you should be able to feel, like you own that room. And people should feel that when you walk into a room.
Yes,
now
ma'am.
you be scared as all get out.
Yes, ma'am.
Inside, but
don't let them see you sweat.
Don't let them see you sweat. That's right.
That's easier said than done, right? So how, like,
yeah,
what do you tell them? Do you tell them imagine that everyone's naked, or imagine just look above their head? Like, what do you tell them?
Because most of the times you're a speaker. I mean, Barbara, you're a speaker, so I know there have been times you've gotten, probably first starting out when you was getting ready to get on that stage.
Still today, Doctor.
Butterflies, they
still
were
today, Doctor. Still today. Yeah,
absolutely. But
people have to mistake
stop you because you knew that what you had to say, that your message was important enough to override those butterflies that you had. And so that's what women have to realize, is that you don't shrink back. Don't ever shrink back, because you have talents, you have skills, you have abilities, but no one will know them. No one will see them if you don't speak up and get noticed. And that's where that confidence comes from. You just have to put your feet in the deep water and get it wet. That's what you really just have to step out there and do it.
Feel the fear and do it anyway. Michelle Grant is out there. Thank you so much, Michelle, for being out there. Torian Coppage is out there. My son is out there. Thank you so much for being out there. Appreciate you all showing up for the show. We have Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis with us, talking about how to get women to go forward. So I know Zalika Jones is out there. Thank you, Z. I know that people look at me maybe and say, she's so confident. Trust me when I tell you that every time, not once, not twice, every single time I stand on a stage, whether it's this stage talking to you all, or whether it's on a stage with a platform, sweat rolls down my back because I'm nervous.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And that's
that's why I believe that, though.
It's true. It's true. Okay. It is true.
Yeah.
But I feel the fear and do it anyway.
Do it anyway. And that's the key. Never let anything stop you from reaching your goal or reaching your full potential. Because like I said, I tell women, you have to learn how to toot your own horn. Because
come on.
Wait, you have to say that one more time.
Come
You have
on,
to say that
Dr.
one more
Madeline.
time.
Yeah, like I said, you have to learn how to toot your own horn. That we as women.
That's bragging, though. Isn't that bragging, Dr.
No,
Madeline?
no, it is not bragging. When you tooting your horn, tell me something. When men toot their horn, do we call that bragging? No, we
No,
do
that's
not.
confidence.
We
That's
just
confidence.
say, oh, yeah, he's got it going on or something like that, you know? But like you say, when women do the same thing, all of a sudden, they're labeled differently. Like you say, bragging. It is not bragging. It's letting them know that, yes, I can do this. I can do it. And, just because we are always going to be challenged, no matter
Yeah.
where we are, in
Yeah.
what situation, no matter what platform that you're on, women will always be challenged. It's like when I was what I read in a Harvard Business Review where no, it was the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's what it was. And it said that the part about men earn women that women only earn 82 cents for every dollar that men earn. Now, this is enough right there to make us want to step out and say, hey, we need to do something about this. We need to be a little more confident in ourselves because we know that we could do the job just as well or better than what
Mostly better. Just
mostly
saying.
better. Who was it that said women do the same thing as men, but we can do it backwards and in heels?
And eyelashes. Okay.
That's why I said it's when I say toot your own horn, if you're going like Allison talked about, she talked about HR and the women in there and especially about going for an interview and things like that. When you go, I remember one time that I was going to apply for a position and I spoke to someone that I really admired that was higher up in the organization and I told her what I was going to do. And one of the things that she told me, and this has always stuck with me, she said, when you put that application in for that position, she said, you make it sound like you can walk on water.
Yes.
And she told me, she said, now I'm not telling you to lie about anything, but what I am telling you to do is everything that you've done that you
load it up
related to that position, you make sure you put it in there. And let me tell you something where I know now that is true because and this is from the Harvard Business Review that says that men will apply for a position when they have only 60%
one skill, one
right
in the list.
Women, when they look at that same posting, they will say they have to have 100%
every
of it
piece
before they will apply.
That's true.
And they have the they'll have the qualifications. They know they can do the job, but they still will not apply for it because they feel they got to have 100% of everything that's listed on there. But a man will look at that same thing and say, oh, I could do number 1 and number 2. I don't need the rest of it. And they will apply for it.
That is the truth.
That's why I said toot your own horn. I tell women, always make sure that you toot your own horn. And I remembered, like I said, I always hear that to this day with that female told me, you apply for that position, make it sound like you can walk on water. And what she was telling me really is like she said, put everything in there that you know that you've done, but also you do it with confidence. She said, because the purpose is to get to the interview. And once you get there, then you can tell yourself.
That's right.
You can get the position on yourself. But, again, your own horn. Yes, exactly.
That's a fact. Want to say thank you to Michelle Grant being out there. Amber Tinker's out there. Thank you so much. Jennifer Reed is out there. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being out there and chiming in because we shout you out on the Barbara H. Smith Show, letting you know that we see you and we appreciate your being there. We are talking to Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, and she is giving us some nuggets on, again, how to apply yourselves, specifically for women, to any situation. Right. I want to ask Shawnee, what else do you want to ask?
Well, first, I want to say one thing about this. One thing about men, the confidence that they have, you can see a man that is 4'11", missing most of this here, right? And he will still ask you for your number. There's a confidence that they just have naturally that you're like,
hello.
Are you serious?
what? You got a lot of nerve. Right now. Are you talking to me? You can't be talking.
I don't date short men. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. That's the kind of confidence they have. So we really have to have that. Mm-hmm. What I need to know, what I want to know from you right now, talk to me about this TED Talk, please.
Oh, she did a TED Talk. I saw it too. It was bomb.
Thank you. Thank you. I did that in Canada in December. I was invited to do it. As you know, the TEDx Talks, when you have to be invited, someone has to recommend you to be able to do the talk. And let me tell you, that was a journey for me. It was a journey and it was a learning experience because, for one, you don't just get on this stage and think
no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
They have a structure. They have a format. They have a way that they want you to do it. And trust me when I say, when I got to Canada, you go through rehearsals. You don't just show up and say, okay, I'm ready. You know, what time do I go on stage? It doesn't work like that. But again, like I said, it was a learning experience for me. And I really appreciated the person that recommended me to, to be on the show. Again, you never know who's watching.
Right. So did you have a coach for it?
Yes, I did. I did have a coach. And as a matter of fact, I had two coaches, a female and a male. And I did that because my topic was show up to rise up. And, my passion is helping women to accelerate the path to success. But again, I had both coaches because, you still want to have that both perspectives.
Yes.
It's like, because the things that I say about men in my talk, it's not bashing men. It's fact. It's fact. Because the talk is to show women that, again, not to shrink back because you do have talents, you do have skills. So you have to be able to move forward and push forward to let people know what you know. Because if you don't, then you will never get to where you want to be. So if you want to be in that executive position, upper level position, in that C-suite, you're not going to get there by sitting in the back of the room. You're not
pretending like you don't want
it. Exactly. Right. You're not going to get there by not speaking or letting other people take your ideas, like that. Let other people speak over you in meetings. You're not going to get there like that. So that's what the talk was all about. Again, the topic was show up to rise up. And what I talked about was how, and the thing about it is, a lot of times we get in our own way.
Say that part again.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's where I was.
In our own way, because we, again, we don't, we know we have the talents, we know we have the skills, but yet
I don't know if we know all the time, Dr. Madeline. I don't know if we know all the time.
I a lot of times I think is again, if you're sitting in a meeting, you have this great idea and you've expressed your idea, and of course someone has talked over you, so you just kind of shrink back and you don't say much. But then the little man over here in the corner, he says the same thing, and all of a sudden
everybody
thinks in sliced bread.
Right.
And you just sit there and let that happen. No. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
That's right.
That's when you're supposed to, speak up and let them know, hey, well, that's the same thing I said 2 minutes ago. What is it that's different about that idea now?
Yeah. Cherie said, yeah, so true. Thanks for being out there, Cherie. We recognize you out there. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Dr. Madeline Ann is dropping some major nuggets right here for women, especially, to step up and stand up. I love that. I don't know if I can use that, but I'm going to give you credit for it, but I'm
Show up to rise up. There you
show up to rise up. I love that. I
Yes.
love that. I want you to give us, how do we get in touch with you, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis?
Well, you can reach me by email. My email is info@exwsi.com, or my website is www.exwsi.com. And if they go to my website, they can download my free 3-part video series on 3 things every woman should do to position herself for executive leadership. So just make sure, again, the website is www.exwsi.com. And of course, I'm on all the social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of those. Twitter. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Twitter.
You know what I want to do right now? I want to bring Allison Moore back up. Thank you so much, Dr. Madeline Ann. And I want to talk real quick about what happened last week. Bring Allison back.
Hey, y'all. Hey. That was so good, Dr. Lewis.
Oh, thank you.
I am so excited about
you. Oh my goodness. Oh my
4
goodness.
women on the platform loving it right now. Really quickly, before we end the show, I want to talk a little bit about what happened last week.
Okay, tell us.
I totally did not know what was happening. Typically, what happens on the show is Shawnee takes care of the guests and the bios and the photos and all that. By the way, Dr. Lewis, I needed your bio. I had to go really dig up some information about you. Anyway, I sidelined myself. I'm just saying. So she does all that. She does all that for me. That's a huge load off my plate. And typically, I look at the bios the day of or the day before and kind of get my what I'm gonna say and jazz it up or whatever. Well, this day, I was like, first of all, we didn't have a flyer that had anybody else on it but Shawnee and I. And that's not usual. It's normally some people on there. Like this week, it was Allison Moore on there and Dr. Lewis was on there. And so I didn't really realize it until the day of the show. I'm like, I'm in the shower going, you know, there's nobody on the flyer. So I get out of the shower. I call Shawnee and say, hey, what's up with the flyer? She goes, oh, don't worry about it. Well, what do you mean don't worry about it? Ain't no guests? She said, oh, you and me, we just gonna have a conversation. I'm like, all right, I ain't got time for this. I got eyelashes to do. I got to get ready for the show here. I get dressed, I get on the show, and I'm in the background going, this doesn't make any sense. Now, mind you, let's segue for a second. You have hard times when you try to surprise me on anything because I'm too nosy for you to pull anything over on me. I get on the show and she's just grinning. And I'm like, what is going on?
I wasn't that goofy with it. Come on.
Look, Shawnee, but look, that's because Barbara got them teeth. I keep trying to tell Barbara, turn your teeth down. They're so bright I can't see. God, to be more careful like no, it's bright as that light behind your head.
So
my eyeglass
comes up. Mark comes up on the show. Mark never comes up on the show. And I'm like, hey, Mark, what's going on? And he starts, well, we have some people that want to say something to you. And I'm like, okay, Shawnee, what are we doing? She's like, we're just talking. I don't know. And people came up one after the other and said some of the most incredible things about me. And I just want to say to all of you, if I start calling names, I'll mess it up because I'm going to forget somebody's name. But I want to thank all of you out there who showed up for the show last week. If you missed it, it was hilarious, surprising me because I totally was surprised. I had no clue what was going on. She pulled that off. I don't know.
Well, you deserve your roses. And you ain't got to be in everything. Let somebody, Shawnee, do what you're supposed to do. Let the queen feel queen.
I'm like, you don't want to talk to me for an hour? Really?
Tell me how you really feel.
Okay.
So, Shawnee, thank you so much for that. Thank you, everybody who was on the show last week. I want to thank my guests from an entire year. It was 1 year on the 23rd of March. And as we go forward, we're getting ready to change this. Thank you, Kimberly. I see you out there. We're getting ready to change the platform. Is going to go to Thursday at noon. It's going to go to Thursday at noon so that, thank you so much, Kimberly. I am so happy that you guys were out there. Zalika, Cherie, thank you so much. We're going to Thursday at noon so that the international community that have now become fans and friends of the Empowering You show is going to be able to see it at a reasonable hour instead of 3 o'clock in the morning. They'll be able to see it at 7 or 8 in the evening like we see it now. And so it's still going to be on Roku, on Pod TV, on IBM Network, and we're going to have even more exciting guests. We're going to have some more things coming up. Shawnee, help me with that.
I thought you were going to segue into more laugh. I'm sorry. My bad. Just saying. We have the Empower University coming up. We have Sisters Lead Sisters to Advance Retreat coming up this October. Don't want to miss that. We have, what else? What else do we have?
We got a book. BHS has got a book.
No, we don't just have a book. We're doing an anthology.
Yes, 10 authors. We're looking for you.
So you want to stay, look for your email, look for the social media. The announcement is coming out tomorrow.
All right. We are at the top of the hour. Thank you so much. Our guest, Allison Moore, More Laughing, and Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. We have had a ball tonight. We thank you so much. Hang out with me, ladies, just for a few minutes after the show. Is the itinerary downloadable? Yes, it is. We're going to send that out very soon, Cherie. We got that for you very, very shortly. Thank you, everybody around the world who's watching the Empowering You show coming up on Thursday next week, the 14th of April. Bye-bye for now. You know what time it is? It's time for you to step into your greatness because the world is waiting for you. I'll see you next week.
There you go.
Engage, inspire, empower. That's what I help you do as a celebrity, speaker, trainer, and coach. Hi, I'm Barbara H. Smith, known as the Masterful Presenter. I am the one that can help you dig deep inside your passions and deep inside your life to get you to the place you always dreamed.
I have the pleasure of hearing Miss Barbara Holmes Smith speak today, and just from her speaking to me today, I have realized that I need to have personalized my alter ego and be able to put myself out there a lot more.
I help through speaking techniques, teaching you how to use your words and your body language to inspire people to come up higher.
Today's presentation with Ms. Barbara was just outstanding. She has really helped me with her personality, with her being so genuine and passionate about what she believes in and helping to coach, train. Her sense of humor, her energy is just incredible.
How do I do that? By coaching and speaking and training. I help you with whatever it is that you want to do next. What is your next? Are you ready to take your life, your career to the next level? I can get you there. Contact me at www.barbarahsmith.com.